What's 60 times 5?
So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a demonstration on how a kitchen fire can begin or how to protect yourselves if you have to catch some oil on fire on the stove. We've got a thermocouple and we want to give you an idea of what the temperatures are on the burners of the stove. So Don's going to turn the stove on, and how many think your cow rod gets up to 500 degrees? Raise your hand. Does that ring on the top of the stove? How many thinks it gets up to 600 degrees? How many thinks it gets up to 700 degrees? How many thinks it gets up to 800 degrees? Does anybody think it gets up to 1100 degrees? Wow, look at that. We've got our cow rods up as high as 1115 degrees. Now that's on top of your stove. So when you turn the burner on and it gets red hot, it can be up to 1100 degrees. So what we're going to do is we got the burner started. It's already at 300. We've got oil, regular cooking oil in our pan. It's going to take it about 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes to warm up. Where are we at, Don? 350. Within the first minute and a half, you're going to see how hot this cow rod gets. How much? 150 on the oil. Now we started at 66 degrees. Cow rod's is already up to 500 degrees, and we're at about 25 seconds.
Layla, we're right here, okay? Your daughter's down there. Oh my God. Tour.
Just watch how quick that cow rod goes up.
Lillian's here too.
What?
Oh.
Where's Lillian?
Where you at? 650. 700.
No, I'm here with him.
750. So when you think about it, you put something on the stove, you turn the burner on, you're going to cook fried chicken, you're going to cook fried fish, something. You turn the burner on, you put the grease on it, and then you just walk away, right?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
No.
You don't just go watch TV for a while?
No.
You should
Stay
never
in the kitchen. It's up to 1,000 degrees and we're in a minute. 1,000 degrees. The oil's going to take a little bit to heat up because you got to dissipate that heat. But you're going to watch the oil start to get warm. 250 on the oil. We know the oil starts to burn at about 500 degrees. We'll probably start seeing some smoke around 400, 450 degrees. So when you think about it, the oil starts to get hot. You're going to cook in it. You've got the cow rod turned way up. We know we're going to get over 1,000 degrees. We should be almost 1,100. It's going to get red hot, 1,100 degrees. The oil's going to start to warm up. It's going to start to bubble a little bit. And of course, we're in the kitchen this whole time, right? We're watching. We're being safe. We go as the Oak Harbor Fire Department, we go on about 25 kitchen fires every year, just from cooking on the stove. And people will tell us, I just left for a minute. I'm just gone for a minute or two. Now think about it, you get on the phone and you start a long conversation, how quick does that minute go by? Really quick. You start doing something else or you start getting engrossed in TV, and this is getting hot, you notice we're already starting to smoke. Not we. I'm sorry. We're not smoking. The oil's smoking. Our cow rod's 1,050. So what's our oil temperature? So we're at 400 degrees on the oil. I can already hear it starting to bubble. You can see the smoke that's starting to come off of it. And of course, the best thing to do is to throw water on this? No. Throw flour on this?
No.
Baking soda? Probably not. We're going to show you the right way, the safest way to put the fire out. In order for you not to get injured and not to cause any damage to your house or your apartment. And we're going to watch how this burns, how quickly it starts to take off. You can see the smoke is starting to build up. Remember I said it's going to take about 6 minutes for this to happen. This is about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of oil inside of this pan. And we did try it with different types of pans. We found that the thicker pan, you can actually get the oil up to almost 700 degrees before it ignites. You can see the smoke is starting to build up. By now, should we get a smoke detector going off?
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe not inside of the house. But you can see how the smoke is building. And what's our oil temperature, Dawn? So we're a little over 500 degrees. You're going to see this oil get hotter. You're going to see a real heavy buildup of smoke. And then we're going to see flame. You guys can see over here all right? Sort of? You notice the smoke is starting to build up even more. We have 600 yet? Not quite. You notice the smoke is already starting to waft out of the front of this. Now just picture if this was in your kitchen where this wasn't open, the amount of smoke would be building up inside of here. Maybe your smoke detector would go off. You notice the smoke is building. Our cow rod's up to a little over 1,000 degrees, probably close to 1,100. Depends where it goes on and off. The glass top burners, if you have a glass top, they only get up to about 700 degrees. If you got a gas fire burner like this, it gets up to about 650 degrees. We get the majority of our kitchen fires from electric burners because there's no rheostat in there. It just gets up to that 1,100 degrees and continually heats that oil. Of course, the more oil in your pan, the longer it's going to take to heat it. You notice the smoke is building up. And again, we get about 25 fires every year from kitchen fires. Where are we at? We're about 600 degrees. I can hear it starting to really crackle in there. And you're going to see this thing flame up real quick here in just a minute. You're going to see the smoke really build up. It may even turn a little bit black in color. And then we're going to see flame. You'll see all the smoke, it gets a little black. And then you'll see almost the smoke goes away. And then we see the fire start. So give it just a little bit. Again, I said it takes about 6 minutes to get it hot enough to ignite. Now, if this was in your house, depending where your smoke detector is, this should be sufficient to set your smoke detector off. Provided, one, you have a smoke detector, and two, this might be a novel idea, but if you have a smoke detector, you ought to have a battery in the smoke detector. They kind of work in concert with one another. You notice the amount of smoke that's building up on the pan? You can actually watch the smoke roll right back in towards the fire, or towards the pan of oil. Close to 700. There's a little bit of oil there to get ignited. And then we're going to show you how to put this fire out, and that's something that you shouldn't do once you put the fire out. Then we're going to reignite this oil, and then ideally, if everything goes right, we're going to have a kitchen fire. How many want to see this burn? Woo! Wow.
Burn, baby, burn! Burn the house down. We don't need it. It's a fake
Look at the amount of smoke that just that little bit of pan is putting off, just from that little bit of oil. And we tried some different kinds of oils today to see what burns the best. We used a Crisco brand. I'm not advertising for anybody, but we got to over 700 degrees and the doggone thing would never ignite on us. We're just about, goodness. We're just about ready. There it goes. Okay, so our pan's on fire. So you're going to see that. You're going to, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And most, I won't say most, but a lot of people think, I'm going to grab that handle and I'm going to run to the sink and pour water on it. Who said no? Good for you. Ideally, you watch this burn, take a cookie sheet, take the a pen and the lid, and just slide the lid over the top of the fire. Fire goes out, pull it off of the burner, set it on the other burner, and normally you turn the burner off. In this case, we're going to leave it on. We want to keep the cow rod hot, and the fire goes out. We're going to leave it on the other burner for just a minute, Don. So now I'm going to take this outside, right? Oh, we're kind of wavering on that one.
Why would you do
Put it on the burner, put the lid on it, and let it cool off. The fire's going to go out. You turned off the burner. You've removed the problem. But what we see happen a lot of times, we wait about 30 seconds and we say, not a problem. I'm going to go ahead and take the lid off. Good idea? No. Notice the flame that builds up? Let's do it one more time. We kind of like to do this kind of stuff. It's kind of fun. But you can see what happens. It builds all that gas up inside. When you take the lid off, it reignites, and you notice it's almost an explosive amount when it reignites. And that ball of fire that comes up, that's what gets the fire going inside of the house. And then you notice we start getting that blacker colored smoke on it.
Let's get the smoke shower.
So even if we wait a minute or two, and we go ahead and pull that off, we're going to get the same results. So as soon as you pull that lid off, you get the fresh air in. Instead of smothering that fire, we just add the air and it gets on larger. All right, let's go ahead and put it on the burner and really ignite it. Yeah. So we're going to let it burn. And then depending what's on your kitchen or close by this, depends what's going to ignite. You know, as the flame is starting to get a little bigger, it's getting hotter. The oil's going to get a lot hotter. We're going to get a bigger flame. You can see how the flame's starting to grow, getting a darker black color. We're creating more thermal energy. You notice how that flame's growing on us. We're going to let it get a little bigger.
Whoa.
You can see how that flame's starting to grow. It's getting up underneath the cabinet. We're holding some heat inside of there. We're getting some good radiant heat that's coming off that flame. You can see how it's growing in height. And this is about the time you run back in and realize it's on fire. And you can see how that fire is growing on us. The oil's coming over the top. You notice how the fire's moving around on the burner itself. Look how much larger that fire's getting. We're creating that thermal energy. We're going to let it grow a little bit more.
Charizard's calling.
And this is how quick it can happen. We're about 45 seconds from that time igniting. When it finally ignited, look how quick that fire's growing.
Yeah.
So now you see that fire and you think, oh, I got to throw water on, I got to put it out. I'm going to move to the side a little bit. Dawn's going to attempt. Dawn's going to... Good.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, it's like fire.
Did the water do any good? Do we have a bigger fire?
Yeah.
It blew up a little bit.
And it's on the cabinet.
And that fire's going to keep growing on us.
The couch.
Notice how, because of the water pushed out, we've got a fire on the side. This is where our kitchen fire is going to take off. Our trash can's caught on fire. Our poster's caught on fire. Our cabinetry is going to catch on fire. The chair is going to catch on fire. And this is how quick a kitchen can get on fire by putting that water on that fire. And notice the amount of thermal energy that we're creating just from the building itself. Last smoke, that's going to kill us. You can see how that fire's going to roll over. It's going to get up onto the ceiling line. It's going to roll. We're already getting fire coming across the ceiling. This is getting inside of the kitchen. We've got over 1,000 degrees temperature on the ceiling in this room right now, even with it being open like this. And you can see the amount of energy that's being produced. All right, let's go ahead and put it out. So if you have a kitchen fire, if the pan catches on fire, put a lid on it. Don't put on flour. Don't put on baking soda. If you have an extinguisher and know how to use it correctly. But the best way to put out a grease fire on the stove, put a cookie sheet over the top. Put a pan or put a lid over the top of the pan. Remove it from the heat, turn the burner off. And then we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. You're welcome to take a look when we get done. Come on up and ask the fire guys, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Y'all can come on up, we'll answer them for you.
Go back to Mom.